What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and it is going to be on the DDD deck that I mentioned I was going to do a deck profile for in the previous video that went up today, which was the duel video of me playing this deck again. Now, I really like this deck, but I feel like there's so much more that can be done with it, and I don't think it's anywhere near what it needs to be in order to be a top contender. But the deck is very, very aggressive, and it's very brutish, I guess is the word that I kind of sold myself on describing this deck as. It's very, very just aggressive, and it just throws out powerhouses when it's operating optimally, in a method that like I've never really seen a deck do before in such a simple fashion. But ultimately, I've seen deck lists that have topped regionals, or at least come close into topping regionals, and I kind of took what I saw there in terms of the trends that I was seeing people set and things like that, and then ultimately came to this deck list as a conclusion of what I was willing to at least let myself play. Now, that makes it a good bit, standard, but then there are some oddball choices in here. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into the deck list and then make any further explanations where I see fit. Triple Abyss Ragnarok, triple Rebel King Leonidas, 1 DD Baphomet. I really like this card as a one-of, simply because it allows you easier access into Kali Yuga. It gives you some utility with like Keplers that are left on your field, using those and making them 4 and going into Wave Caesar, and then stacking up into Marksman Tell, stuff like that. I don't think this is worth running more than one of at the current point in time, but I think I might be wrong. I'm not sure. The fact that it just says you can't target DD Baphomet and modify its level just really makes this card a lot worse than it could have been. But as a one-of right now, I've been very happy with the results it's been giving me, and like I already said, it makes it very easy to make like Kali Yuga, because you can just modify levels of anything other than DD Baphomet up and down. Triple Swirl Slime, the polymerization that's better than polymerization, and just lets you special summon stuff out of your hand after you fusion summoned as well. It's really good, and it complements itself so nicely with Necro Slime. The fact that like using Swirl Slime and Necro Slime to make your fusion, and then you immediately are able to banish Necro Slime and Swirl Slime or whatever other DD is in your graveyard to make another fusion for free, like that's actually just very good value. And I really like these two pair of cards that work together in that functionality. I really like the fact that they work in that regard. And Necro Slime itself is just very good in terms of allowing this deck some recovery, in the fact that like you don't have to be good at top decking as long as you have a live Necro Slime play in your graveyard already set up and ready to go. That's automatically going to get you into something that allows your plays on the following turn to have some structure and merit, and I really like that. Triple Savant Kepler, this card's self-exclamatory. It searches your Dark Contract cards, which is the best cards in your deck, basically. 1 copy of Glow Bulb. I play this to give value to 1-for-1, so that you can have quicker access into Kepler. But then also, like, once you have access into Keplers and stuff, or you have, like, Dark Contract with the gate up, and you're able to, like, access this card, you never really want a 1-for-1 for it again, and, like, unless there's very specific situations that come up that allow you to make it optimal. But 1-for-1ing for Glow Bulb and having synchro options definitely have, just heightened the ceiling of what your plays can do with this deck. Because, like, your only other 1-for-1 target, if you didn't run the bulb, would be Necro Slime. And, like, you don't really want to 1-for-1 that. I'm sure there's, like, some situation where it might come up just to fuse off with it, but it's still not ideal. Whereas 1-for-1 into Bulb, it does all these, things like opening you up to Trish. You can make Leos. You can do a bunch of different stuff. And, like, all in all, I'm just a fan of it. Triple Dark Contract with the gate. This card is Tenki, but better, because instead of having to have multiple Tenkis, you just put this card face up, and once per turn, you get to add a card to your hand. Pretty neat. Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This card is Polymerization, but also Miracle Fusion. I really like this card. This card is a very, very good fusion card, and it's continuous. Like, the fact that these cards are continuous is great, because that means you're not taking minuses doing anything any more than you already were in terms of utilizing the fusion mechanic. But this thing lets you fuse from hand, field, and then banish from graveyard if you need materials there as well. Like, that's really cool, and it's really good, and I really like that. And it allows you to, like, set up a lot of different plays where Necro Slime isn't involved, or allows you to stack up plays with Necro Slime. There's a lot of different interactions there that are neat and cool. 2 copies of Transmodify. People are telling me this card is horrible, but I honestly don't understand how, because every time I resolve this card, it's always amazing. You obviously just use it on the Arc Fusion, and you get this for free, and you get your Arc Fusion back. It's basically additional copies of this and allows the deck to be more aggressive. I can understand why you might say that it's not the best, but to say it's not good at all is very much false. Triple Upstart Goblin for consistency, Allure of Darkness, 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, just to get things where I want them for plays moving forward. Triple MST, 2 Wavering Eyes. This I'm iffy on. I saw them in a lot of deck lists, and I've been playing 2 of them, but honestly, it's not been the best. Oh, Jesus. I just right-clicked, and that removes it. It's not been the best, so I might take them out. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to test with this deck and, like, improve it in terms of adding more combo cards somehow, and there's a lot of different things I want to do research on with this deck with what we currently have available in the TCG pool. So there is that to consider, but ultimately this card's just kind of been meh, because you don't have a lot of pendulums to work with, and the only card you're ever going to be putting in your pendulum zone is Ragnarok, and you're never going to put Leonidas in your pendulum scale. You might occasionally put Kepler in your pendulum scale just to pendulum one of these out if it died and went to your extra deck, but like, the fact that this is level 1 and not level 2, like, makes your pendulum summons have so little value in this deck, because the only cards you can pendulum summon are these 2, and, like, that's not really the best, but this card's nuts. But this card, I mean, you don't really need to pendulum summon this, so, I mean, I guess it's whatever. It's literal whatever. But anyway, for the traps, 5 very oddballish choices in terms of, well, these aren't really oddball. The Bottomless, the Vandy, and the Warning are just basically staple one-ofs, or at least what I would consider staple. I'm playing a deck Devi simply because it was, like, the best 5th trap I could see myself playing, in terms of, like, playing its pendulums. Like, you can hit their cards out of their hand and stuff like that. So I thought it was worth. But then Dark Contract with the Witch. I'm playing this because it is a searchable defensive card off of Kepler, and so because all of these are once per turn, they're all once per turn, and so Dark Contract with the Witch is a 3rd copy of a Dark Contract card that you can search off Kepler if you're making Kepler plays, and it gives you a continuous Raigeki break as long as you can meet the requirement of discarding a Dark Contract or a DD monster. And it also just happens to, like, clear your hand out of multiple Dark Contract cards, because as I've already said, these are only once per turn per name of Dark Contract cards. So if you have 2 or 3 Dark Contract with the Gates in your hand, you can only use one of them per turn. So Kepler can search Dark Contract with the Witch, and then you can utilize this to discard these additional copies and use it as defense, which is something that I felt was valuable for the deck. The extra deck is extremely what I would consider standard. Triple Oracle King d'Arc, 2 DD Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. A level 8 Synchro, a Trishula, and a Leo. I mean, your Synchro choices don't really matter. These were just the ones that I was thinking would come up the most. For Xyz, 1 DDD Wave King Caesar, 1 DDD Marksman King Tell, 1 Gaia Dragon, 1 Big Eye, 1 Draco Sack, 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, and 1 DDD Duodon King Kali Yuga, Mr. Negate Everything, and Heavy Storm You. This card is awesome. This card is insane. There's only been like 1 game that I've played that I summoned this and didn't win. You know, not counting the whole 1 day of peace thing, because I won that game handily. That whole thing where DEVpro was glitched, I won that game handily, even though I just surrendered because I couldn't actually kill him because of DEVpro's glitching. I think the only game that I actually summoned it and lost was actually a game that I put up beforehand, I think. I think that's actually the one that was on film. Or camera, rather. But yeah, this deck is all in all just what I would consider really standard, but there are just some oddball picks in here that are kind of just not the norm of what people are playing. But I definitely want to take some time and do some research into this deck a bit further, see if there's anything else that can be adapted to the deck from what we have available in the TCG pool. I know that there's a bunch of different like pendulum strategies and stuff with OCG cards, but I'm trying to keep this deck TCG legal because I'm a competitive player. I play at events. Like, sure, I can have information of how the deck operates in the OCG, but we don't even have those cards confirmed yet. So I'm just going to be making myself, like, have conflicting information in my head if I ever decided to play this deck at an actual event right now. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave any suggestions that you would make to this deck in the comments down below. I mean, I think this is pretty standard. I think there's not much that can be changed. But, I mean, who knows? If you have any suggestions, leave them down below, and I will probably play test them a bit, but it probably won't be on any sort of camera. Because, I mean, hey, can't film everything, right? But links are in the description to my Facebook pages if you want to chat with me, connect with me, whatever. Definitely check those out. Click it out if you have not. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps make money, and there's no reason to lie to you guys about that. If you have an ad block enabled, do me a quick favor, a quick solid. Take a couple seconds out of your day, remove your ad block, and then put the ad block back on when you are done. It helps me out more than you could ever know, and it's a great way to show your support of the content I'm producing. Show me that you like the stuff that I'm doing, and it's the best form of feedback that YouTube currently gives me in terms of all the demographics and things that they allow me to view. The monetary gains on specific days and specific videos is the biggest indicator of what you guys like to see. So if you definitely like the stuff that I'm doing, definitely make sure you show your support for that video. So all in all, that's pretty much all I think I can say about this deck profile. Like I've already said, if you have any suggestions, leave them below, and I'll take a look at them. But other than that, as always guys, take care.